Previously on My Hero Academia. What's going on, everybody? Sean Ross here, and welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm about to dive into episode 8 for season 3 of My Hero Academia, and I look forward to this every single weekend. It's so good to have My Hero Academia on a Saturday morning. It's a great thing to wake up to, but right now within the series, things are not looking too good for our pro heroes. A lot of things are in disarray, and our pro heroes are working to fix that, because last week's episode 7, ended off the training camp arc, but we ended up seeing Bakugo getting stolen away, getting taken by our League of Villains, and they are currently trying to recruit him to their organization. So that's what's going on right now between our League of Villains and Bakugo. But our pro heroes with All Might, Tsukauchi, and some other pro heroes are currently working on a rescue operation to go get Bakugo because they found out where the bar for the League of Villains is. So that's a good thing right there with our pro heroes. But also at the hospital, our students are at odds with each other right now because they don't know what the right move to do in this situation is, because they want to go rescue Bakugo, but how should they go about it? Because Kirishima, Todoroki, and Deku want to go out on their own to rescue Bakugo, while a lot of the other students want to leave this to the pro heroes, specifically Iida, who is voicing his opinion and remembering what happened when they went after Stain. So his character development from that arc is coming back in this situation. He's telling his friends, we can't do this right now. It's against the rules. Let's leave this to the pro heroes. So I'm very excited, guys, to dive into this latest episode. But before I do that, down in the description down below, check out the links to Crunchyroll, Funimation, and to Verve to check out the official release and to support the series. So with all that being said, let's dive into episode 8 of season 3 for My Hero Academia, entitled From Iida to Midoriya. Let's jump into it, guys.
発信機のやつもらってそれたどって自分らで爆豪の救出に行くってこと？
It's smart on their part.
ふざけるのも大概にしたまえ。待て、落ち着け。
オールマイトに任せようよ。
Aoyama.
合宿で相沢先生が出した戦闘許可は解除されてるし。
爆豪ちゃんがさらわれてショックなのよ。でも冷静になりましょう。また戦闘を行うというのなら、ルールを破るというのなら、その行為は Laws are in place for a reason. Can't go against them. Otherwise, it's the same situation with Stain. He is hearing this. Got more scars on his arm now. Consequences from fighting muscular.
爆竹が爆発したような壊れ方してんのね。骨、筋肉がボロボロなのもまずいが、何よりも靭帯ね。靭帯は関節保持する。
His ligaments are getting torn.
それがひどく劣化してる。つまりね、あとどうだろう。2度3度か同じような怪我が続けば。 腕の使えない生活になると思っといて。
That would not be good, being able to not use your arms. What I love about this series, there are consequences to Deku constantly breaking his limbs. Oh yeah, Recover Girl was probably pissed. Kota's letter. Sorry, I punched you in the balls.
早く元気になって直接お礼を言わせてください。コウタ。お母さん。
On his mom. Finally get to Do you have to go to UA? Big question right there.
お電話です。
誰だ？
警察の塚内様という方です。
私だ。
Gathering the elite right now. Number 2 hero endeavor. Here we go. Best Genist. Number 4 hero. There he is. Edge shot. Number 5. Gang Orca 2. Number 10. And Gran Torino. No ranking. Just a badass. Tiger's going. Kamui Woods and Mount Lady. And I love how they're in the car together. That's great. Manga readers will understand. And there's Iida.
なんでよりにもよって君たちなんだ。俺の私的暴走を咎めてくれた。
Music fits so well.
君たち二人がなんで俺と同じ過ちを犯そうとしている。あんまりじゃないか。何の話してんだよ。
Todoroki knows.
たちはまだ保護下にいる。
飯田君違うんだよ。僕らだってルールを破っていいなんて。
There it is. Punch.
俺だって悔しいさ。心配さ。当然だ。俺は学級委員長だ。クラスメートを心配するんだ。君たちが暴走した挙句、兄のように取り返しのつかない事態になったら。
Iida's right.
僕の心配はどうでもいいっていうのか。
So is everyone else. Like, we want them to go. I love this. They're doing such a good job with this.
どうでもいいっていうのか。俺たちだって何も正面切って勝ち込む気なんざねえよ。戦闘なしで助け出す。要は隠密活動。それが
Covert action.
ルールにギリ触れねえ戦い方だろう。
私は轟さんを信頼しています。
Of course you do, Momo.
万が一を考え、私がストッパーとなれるよう同行するつもりで参りました。
平行線か。ならば俺も連れて行け。覚えているかな。USJ 襲撃の時に言った。後に起こる大事件。
Oh yeah. Wow, that's a nice tease right there. And look at our pro heroes. Look at that. That lineup.
もう一度言うが、ヒーロー志望の爆豪勝樹君、俺の仲間にならないか。
The big question.
その大事件が。
Oh, this, they are building this up right now. I love it. They're teasing it so good.
Midoriya君、暴力を振るってしまったことを陳謝する。ごめん。
Iida is a good friend. He is.
戦闘皆無の救出。
Is that even possible? Yeah.
皆さん冷静に慣れてないことに気づけていない。でも現場を見ればその難しさ、自分たちの非現実的な発想に気づいていただけるはず。
Oh man, the build up so good right now.
座標は神奈川県横浜市上野区。
They didn't put the K in Camino? Oh, come on.
約2時間。10時頃の到着です。
Camino Ward. I love the Star Wars like references in all the places. He's ready to go.
ここからは用心に用心を重ねませんと。私たちヴィランに顔を知られているんですのよ。わかった。本密だ。
Deku.
そこで私。
Dirt cheap. She wants to go to like a thrift store. Here we go. Yes. Oh, I love this. They're doing such a good job. Roses around Todoroki. Nice touch. Oh, Momo. Looking slick, Iida. Kirishima looking nice. Nice disguises. You even have Todoroki's hair showing through. I like that touch. Way to notice, Iida. It would have, wouldn't it? She's thinking about the economy. Momo. She wanted to go to a thrift store because she's never been. Oh, the press conference. We got a clean-cut Aizawa. Hates the media.
遊泳高校は今年に入って4回生徒がヴィランと接触していますが、今回生徒に被害が出るまで各ご家庭にはどのような説明をされていたのか、
Here we go.
具体的にどのような
Media
対策を
swarming.
行ってきたのかお聞かせください。
How it works usually. When bad stuff happens, the media just pounces.
強い姿勢で生徒の安全を保障すると説明しておりました。
あ、何言ってんだこいつら。
And then the public reacts.
結果がすべて
Results are everything.
空気がよどんでいく。悪い方向へと。
Faith in the system of superheroes is dwindling. Shigaraki's kind of winning in a way by doing this. Slowly chipping away at the pillar, keeping up this peace.
俺たちの戦いは遠い。ヒーローとは正義とは何か。この社会が本当に正しいのか。一人一人に考えてもらう。
But will this sway Bakugo?
勝つつもりだ。君も勝つのは好きだろ。
It's a good way to appeal to Bakugo for winning.
高速外せ。
は？暴れるぞこいつ。
いいんだよ。対等に扱わなきゃな。スカウトだもの。
TWICE 外せ。
Make Twice do it.
嫌だし。
外せ。
もうやだ。
Goes from Shigaraki to Dabi, then to Twice. Oh, the chain of command.
君ならそれを。
Exactly. What else would Bakugo have done? And he took off the hand.
だらだらよ。バカは要約できねえから話が長え。よ、嫌がらせしてえから仲間になってくださいだろ。無駄だよ。ほら見ろ。見たか今の。
There we go, Bakugo. Not so easily swayed by villains. Exactly, he aspires to be All Might. And oh man, that's the end. So there it is, everybody. The moment that everyone, including us manga readers, have been waiting to get to within the anime with Bakugo's character. He is not going to be swayed by the cheap words of Shigaraki, having Shigaraki tell him how bad Hero Society is, how unjust it is. Bakugo is set in his ways and is pursuing the path that All Might took. He's going to take the path of a hero. And I love the way that this entire episode was presented, but leading up to that moment with Bakugo's character, I'm glad we finally got to, because I've been holding back in the comments section talking with you anime onlys who are theorizing and speculating on what path Bakugo is going to take. But now we can see without a shadow of a doubt, Bakugo wants to be a hero, and this has been shown throughout the entire series, through Season 1 and through Season 2. Sure, Bakugo has a negative personality, he is very explosive, but he's always stated, time and time again, he wants to be the #1 hero. And as we've seen from that Katsuki Bakugo Origins episode, when it was Deku and Bakugo going up against All Might, a hero always wins in the end. That's how he looks up to All Might, because All Might never loses, he always wins. And when you look at villains, what do villains always do? They always lose. So Bakugo, based on that thought process, he's like, heroes are awesome because they always win. I want to be a hero. Sure, he has it for other reasons, but he's not going to become a villain because he never wants to lose. That's just one aspect of why Bakugo wants to go down the path of a hero, and his character has been very well fleshed out from this adaptation, and that's the one thing I love about Horikoshi's writing within the manga of My Hero Academia. He takes this character, the typical trope to where there's explosive character, negative toward the main character, and you would expect him to go down the path of the villain, but that is not the case. So I love that entire end scene with Shigaraki, you know, showing him the news, how UA is getting scolded and reprimanded for their actions, and once he goes to release Bakugo thinking like, don't worry, we can handle him, Bakugo just unleashes upon Twice and Shigaraki, blowing the hand off his face, and he's like, you talk too much, dude. I'm not buying what you're selling. I'm going down the path of a hero, and I loved that we finally got that in this episode. But with everything else that transpires within this episode, we get to follow our main group of students who are trying to find and rescue Bakugo from the villain's clutches. We see Deku, Todoroki, Kirishima, but we also have Momo and Iida tagging along almost like chaperones on this rescue mission operation. And they do some crazy stuff during this episode that I absolutely loved getting to see. But then also on the other side of the spectrum, we have our pro heroes being called into action to participate in this rescue and raid operation on the bar for the League of Villains. We already know that All Might is a part of it and Tsukauchi is putting the plans in motion, but we see the calls going out to Endeavor, the #2 hero, Best Genius, the #4 hero, and then Edgeshot, the #5 hero, who we have seen before going back to episode 1 of season 2. He was briefly shown within that episode, but we also get a brief look at Gang Orca, the #10 hero, and Gran Torino is coming out of retirement for a little bit to participate within this operation. Get hyped right now, because the one thing I love about this episode is with Midoriya's monologuing as he's narrating this episode, he is hyping up right now this event that is about to go down, and I cannot stress it enough, guys. If this is done really, really well, and Bones goes in on this section within this season, this is going to be absolutely freaking amazing. So now that I've hyped you guys up just a little bit, let's go back to the beginning of this episode and let's talk about what transpired with all of our students within the hospital and them being at odds with each other on what is the right move to do to go and rescue Bakugo, because we can tell that Kirishima, Todoroki, and Deku are going to go out of their way to rescue Bakugo. But everyone else within the class, they're looking at the situation and they're like, we want to go help Bakugo, but based on the rules set up by the world, we can't really do that. Let's leave this to the pros and let them handle this situation. Much like Iida is screaming at Kirishima, that's what they need to do. But I like getting to see this dynamic because you get to see that every single member of Class 1A is feeling the effects of Bakugo being kidnapped, but based on the situation and the rules set up by the world, they can't really do anything. They can't become vigilantes and just go out of their way, go out on their own and rescue Bakugo, because that's not what heroes in training are supposed to do. So a majority of the students are actually agreeing with Iida within this situation to where they should not get involved and they should just leave the rescue operation to the pro heroes. And we end up seeing all of the students leaving the hospital, but as Iida is leaving, he overhears Kirishima telling Deku that they plan on leaving tonight to go rescue Bakugo and they will be waiting for him outside the hospital. So this ends up leading into that section later on in this episode with that emotional moment taking place between Iida and Midoriya. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, because the next section we end up diving into is when the doctor comes in and he begins telling Deku about the state his arms were in and that there are going to be consequences moving forward if he does not change the way he is using his power. And this is a good section to have within this episode because it really does go to show that there are consequences for Deku's actions of constantly breaking his arms and going over his safe usage limit of using one for all. And you can't really say that about many main protagonists within shonen anime, because usually what tends to be the case, they destroy their body fighting a main villain or some side villain, and then 1 to 2 episodes later, their body is fine and there's no real ramifications. That's not the case with Deku's character, because you can visually see on his right arm that there are more scars present than previously before his fight with Muscular. So we can visually tell that his arm is taking a beating, but even the doctor is surprised at the state that his arms were in, and not only looking at his arms as he was tending to them, but looking at his past history that he got from Recovery Girl. And you know Recovery Girl was pissed getting to see Deku in that state. But even the doctor's telling Deku, it's like firecrackers went off within your arms to where your muscles and bones were destroyed, but also you're tearing away at your ligaments. If you continue to do this, maybe 1 to 2 more times where you just obliterate your arm, you might lose the use of your arm forever. So I like that this was within this episode, and it really does go to hammer home that there are consequences for Deku constantly going over his safe limit and just obliterating his arms trying to defeat a villain. So I really do like getting to see this section within this episode, but I also really do like that little side section when Deku goes to the roof and starts to read Koda's letter, where he's basically saying, sorry I punched you in the balls. It's a really nice section to have, and it really goes to show that Hotta does appreciate him for that. But also, that little call he has with his mom, keep that in the back of your mind, because that small piece of dialogue his mom says to Deku, where she basically says, do you have to go to UA? That is going to play a part in a future episode, so keep that in the back of your mind as we make our way through this intense arc we are about to get into. But things start to get pretty emotional once we make our way outside the hospital and we have that really intense conversation taking place between Iida and Deku, and we get to a point to where Iida actually throws a punch at Deku's face. And I know many people might be viewing this situation as like, why would Iida even do that to Deku? But in this situation, I can view this from both sides, and I really do agree with Iida and what he's trying to do, trying to stop his friends, because he was down this path once before, hell-bent on getting revenge on Stain, and look where it kind of got him. It almost got him killed, and he does not want to see that happen to his friends, to his classmates. So I completely agree with Iida's stance on this situation, but I also agree with Deku, Todoroki, and Kirishima, because meddling when you're not supposed to is the essence of being a hero, and Deku can't just sit by and let Bakugo be taken by the League of Villains and not do anything about that. So I agree with both sides of this situation, but eventually it comes down to it to where Iida knows he's not going to be able to stop them from doing this, so he ends up going along with them, almost like a chaperone. You have the same thing happening with Momo because she has the tracker, but they are going to do this. They are going through with this rescue operation in hoping that they will not have to fight anyone. But Momo is the smart one out of this because she's like, we can't go through with this rescue operation and not expect to get in a fight. That's just unrealistic. So many things happening within this section is great to see, getting to see some characters thinking clearly, some just going off pure emotion, but I like the fact that Iida and Momo are going along with this to make sure that Deku, Todoroki, and Kirishima do not do something stupid. But before our students can go through with this rescue operation, they first need to don some new disguises. And I absolutely loved getting to see this adapted from the manga into this episode. It was funny in the manga, but I honestly think they improved upon it and added some small scenes here and there to make this section funny and absolutely hilarious, because we see our 5 students coming to the realization that the League of Villains know what we look like. They know every single student from Class 1A, so we need to change our appearance. And Momo blushingly points to a thrift store and is like, well, why don't we just buy some clothes right there? And then we have this montage of every single one of them coming out of the dressing room in their new disguises. And this is my question for the anime onlys. Who was your favorite disguise and why? I'm very curious to know, but a small detail that I really did enjoy that they kept from the manga into this episode is that you can still see Todoroki's white hair showing through his wig. A very hilarious moment. This was very lighthearted, but get used to it right now because things are going to get darker from here. But another thing just to note is that Todoroki, as they are leaving with their disguises, turns to Momo and realizes, like, wait a minute, you have a creation quirk. Why didn't you just create our disguises for free? Why did we have to buy them? And Momo gets all flustered and she's like, well, I can't really use my quirk like that because it would be illegal. And plus we need money in the economy. So that's why I did it. I did it for the economy. And Kirishima is just looking at her like, she is just a simple rich girl that wanted to go into a cheap thrift store. You gotta love Momo, guys. But another little fact within this episode for the Star Wars fans out there, Kamino Ward is basically a nod to Kamino the planet from Attack of the Clones within Star Wars, even though I don't know why it got changed to a C, because in the manga it does have a K, but that's just a little tidbit, a little fact for the Star Wars fans that watch My Hero Academia. And the last thing that we need to talk about is with that emergency press conference that took place with Principal Nezu Aizawa and Vlad King, because UA right now is trying to do damage control with everything that has been said about them in the media, and they are also trying to restore the public's faith within UA's system. The only problem with that is that the media is not letting them off easy with what has gone down at the training camp. They are letting them know, you guys were unprepared for the villain attack. A lot of your students got injured, and one of your students got kidnapped and is missing. So the public reception right now of UA's system is not looking too good right now. But what's interesting to note about this entire press conference is that we see Aizawa here, a man that hates the media. He despises everything that the media stands for, but here he is, clean-shaven, looking dapper, and gritting his teeth and apologizing to the public, not only to take responsibility with what went down at the training camp, but also to protect his students. So I love getting to see this because not only is Aizawa a good man, but he is a good teacher to his students. But one interesting thing to note that one press reporter brought up is that the UA students have run into the villains 4 times within a half of year of being at UA. We have the USJ incident, we have the incident with Stain, Shigaraki running into Deku, and now the training camp arc. And as you can see as this section unfolds with all of that information laid out for the public's view and reception of UA is dwindling fast. We're like, if these heroes can't even protect their students, how can we expect them to protect us? And we even get to see Deku, Todoroki, Kirishima, Iida, and Momo reacting to the public's reception of UA and kind of seeing the superhero society looking down on what UA has been trying to do combating the villains. They are seeing that pillar that All Might has built up beginning to crack, and this is all going to Shigaraki's plan. He is slowly chipping away on the view of the public on the pro heroes, and he is just basking in that glory, and he's showing this all to Bakugo, and this all leads into that first section I was talking about, to where Bakugo is not going to let cheap words shift his viewpoint on trying to become a hero. And I love that moment too, when Shigaraki basically says, you know, untie him, loosen the restraints, and you knew Bakugo is just going to unleash hell on these villains. And he just knocks twice out of the way and just launches an explosion right in Shigaraki's face. The hand comes flying off and he just stares out and he's like, Father, as Bakugo just states to him, I'm gonna be a hero and you guys are not going to change my mind. So this right here was a great in-between episode. It was a good setup episode, but prepare guys, because things are coming. Next episode, if you saw the preview and the title, you know what is coming, and you should definitely prepare because things are about to get epic and amazing. So with that guys, that is my live reaction and review to episode 8, season 3 for My Hero Academia. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on this latest episode. What were your positives? What were your negatives? And what was your favorite standout moment from this episode? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you guys would like to talk more about My Hero Academia outside of YouTube, feel free to follow me on Twitter. Though I must warn you, I do also talk about the manga for My Hero Academia on Twitter as well. So just a word of caution for the anime only. So a link to my Twitter account can also be found in the description down below. But that's going to do it for me here, guys. So until next week when we have season 3, episode 9 of My Hero Academia, where things are about to go off, I'll see you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.